MCMC. Yes, MCMC. Yeah. Just for a second. Okay, so I call this feature of jobs for 2022. This is what they have basically kept. So just think of this. It's only 4 years. And the magnitude of change which is going to happen according to this report is mind-boggling. So that's what I'm going to share. Not the entire report, some of the graphs and charts initially, and then I'll shift my focus to what we need to do as professional for our career and job market. So I think most of you are working with some companies or maybe some your own business, but that would be quite relevant at this point of time. So this is the first slide, which basically you are all aware of it. So 4 technologies are really making big difference in the business world, which is high-speed mobile internet, artificial intelligence, and big data analytics and cloud technology, which we just talked about it. The interesting thing, according to that report, is that in different industries is happening a little differently. So their expectation is adoption by 2022, which is only 4 years. The biggest adoption would be in the stationary robots. The robotics are a big thing nowadays, but within that, stationary robotics are applicable to the industrial space. So automotive companies, industrial factories, they are adopting fast. So that would be 37% adoption in the next 4 years. The second biggest industry is non-humanoid land robots. This is also industrial, aerospace, supply chain, etc. And then comes another industrial segment, aerial and underwater robots, 19%. This is a little different, humanoid robots, because this is related to the white-collar jobs. So you guys are a little different category, IT professionals, but most of the office workers and jobs would fall into that category where the artificial intelligence is making a big impact. This is interesting. So this is a snapshot of the overall change which is going to take place. Good news is that by 2022, there would be 133 million new jobs, new roles. As you see, every day we see new roles and new jobs based on the technology. So their expectation is 133 million new roles or new jobs at the cost of 75 million jobs which would become redundant. So there is a net gain of big number, but it's not easy. If you look at these categories, there is a big job disruption is going to happen. Let me read it for you, some of the categories you can have some idea. So the top 10 declining roles: data entry clerks, accounting, bookkeeping and payroll clerks, administrative and executive secretaries, assembly and factory workers, client information and customer service workers, business service administration managers, accountants and auditors, big category in the finance and accounting field, material recording and so on. So you could see a trend here in these categories. The trend is that any jobs which are repetitive, which can be done again and again, they are going to be eliminated first, because machines can do their job much better. And you guys know better than me that if whatever you give instruction to the machine, they could do with lot more accuracy, precision and speed. So as human beings, we cannot beat machines on productivity. That's very clear. So big categories, as I said, factory workers. Now, you guys already well aware of the artificial intelligence, but generally people don't have an idea that how powerful that technology is. Think of the driverless cars, self-driven cars. Now this is a skill which nobody thought 5 years ago that it would be run by robots. It requires your minute, detailed attention, second by second, in an uncertain environment where safety is a big concern, and you have to make some split-second decisions. You have to read the signs, you have to observe the environment, and that is how, and that's already accomplished with few finishing touches. It's going to be a commercial technology very soon. So that is how the artificial intelligence is taking over this job. Now the top 10 emerging jobs, look at these categories also. And many of you are already doing those jobs or going to do that job. Data analyst and scientist, AI and machine learning specialist, general and operations managers, software and application developers and analysts, sales and marketing professional, big data specialist, digital transformation specialist, new technology specialist, organization development specialist, and information technology. You could also see a trend over here. The people who are going to use their unique skills, it's not repetitive jobs. You have to think of the new ideas, innovation, creativity, and those jobs are going to be more and more in demand going forward. And as I said, most of the jobs fit in the IT category. There is a detailed list of the jobs and roles, like redundant roles, stable roles, and growing roles. So when you look at the report, you can look into the details. So based on this current scenario, and this is not only for the IT professionals but all professionals, that it's really very difficult to foresee or predict what roles would be there 5 years. If I'm a CFO, 10 years from now, maybe a robot is doing the job of a CFO. I don't know. Similarly, for accountants, controllers, finance, treasury managers, we don't know what roles will exist. So what we could do, we could look at the skill set. What skill set you have and what skill set would be required in future. And just focus on developing your skill set. There would be a role available for you. That's the best career strategy for any professional in today's time. This slide is also very interesting. This shows the division of labor between human and machine is shifting very fast. So let me explain that to you. So this is 2018. This is an average of all type of tasks and all type of jobs. Currently, any task you look, 71% of that task is being done by human beings, and 29% is being done by machine or robots or by technology, right? That's an average. By 2022 is going to shift to 42%, so from 29% to 42% increase in the machine part. And by 2025 it's more than half. Any task, any average task by 2025, more than half is being done by machine. So that's a trend going forward, very clear. So this is also a very good criteria that whatever job you are doing, look at that job and see what is changing, how quickly the technology and the robots and the machines are taking over that part, and what you would be doing. So, the report basically is quite very interesting report if you go through it, and it also shares some ideas that based on today's situation, it's a major disruption in the job category is different, right? So what are we going to do? We are of course not going to sit idle individually or collectively. There is a big burden on the educational institutions as well as the businesses and the government to ensure the smooth transition of, there's going to be a big skill gap. By 2022, there would be a lot of jobs in the 133 million category, people would not be available. And there would be a lot of people available who could do the 75 million jobs, but they are no more required, right? Imagine in USA only, there are 8 million drivers, 8 million. Now there is no doubt, in few years, this job is gone. Now what those 8 million people are going to do? I'm sure they are not going to sit at home. But this is the time to think about it, that what those people or what are you going to do if you fall in that category. This slide explains or highlight the skills which are in demand, which are declining and growing. Again, you could see a very clear trend here. Declining skills, manual dexterity, manual jobs, repetitive, memory, verbal, auditory, management of financial material resources, technology, installation and maintenance. That would be done by machines and robots. Reading, writing, math and active listening, management of personnel, quality control, coordination, visual auditory, technology use, monitoring and control. These are easy things, right? So, even in the, if you feel that your job in that category, then be careful that this may not survive. In the growing categories, very interesting, and you can see a trend here as well. Analytical thinking and innovation. Number one. Number two, active learning and learning strategies. Creativity, originality and initiative. Technology, design and programming. Critical thinking and analysis. Complex problem solving, leadership and social influence, emotional intelligence. Reasoning, problem solving and ideation, systems analysis and evaluation. You could see a pattern over there. These are the unique human skills. Unique human skills. In the foreseeable future, it is not expected that robots would take over the emotional intelligence part, right? Even in your technical domain, if you are working on a new project, you need a lot of critical thinking. You need a lot of innovation and creativity to design. So it's not only related to the core skill that you need programming, you need coding. That's not enough. That's a commodity. Anybody could do it. What is unique skill you have? So coding skills along with innovation would be in high demand because that is what is required. So idea here is, at a broader level, that you look at your job as an individual and you see what is the skill set you have, and then get some direction. Don't worry about the jobs and roles, but look at the skill set and see that how could we focus on these growing skills. Now, one thing which is very alarming here, when it comes to the new skills development, most people do not think of the emotional intelligence or creativity or innovation or active learning or analytical thinking. These are the skills which are applicable to a variety of jobs and roles and industries. These are universal skills. Especially for the IT professional, my limited observation that you guys are too much focused on the technicalities. Too much technicalities, technical skills. And yes, many technical skills would survive, but there would be more demand for the technical specialists who also have some soft skills. Human interaction, dealing with the people. I spend my life in the corporate, different regions, different type of organization. Biggest challenge is people working in finance talking to marketing people, or IT people working in a company and talking to finance people. That's the biggest challenge. Do you have the skills to really overcome and do a better job, better than average on that part? So that's what we are talking about in terms of skills outlook. And this is again a list of the top 10 skills. So this is interesting. This is also from the report. Report said that if you don't do much, like an average person, so my take is that 90% of the professionals are really sleeping, not aware. There is not self-awareness, 90%. And 10% people like you, because you are sitting here. Nobody asked you, nobody forced you to come here, right? It was your own initiative to do some learning. That is why you are here. These people are not many. 90% people don't recognize that. For those people, once they are caught into a situation that what happened to my job, why I was not aware, even if they wake up at that time in 2022, it will take more than 100 days to develop and train themselves to catch up, to be re-employed. Think of this, more than 3 months, in just 4 years. That is how the change is coming, with such a force and such a velocity. So these were the few slides I took from the report. And my advice for learning, lifelong learning is a reality. Now, most of you are not college students, you are already in the professional life. And you've already spent 10, 15 years, so you're already there. This is a very special group. But majority of the professionals in different functions, they don't think, if I have done my MBA 20 years ago, that's good enough to take my career forward until I retire. No more. No more. The things have changed. In every function, every profession, you have to learn continuously, lifelong. The most important thing about learning is that it's not now. I have been in training and education now full time, but I have been doing training for 20 years in the corporate. I could tell you that the future of 1 day, 2 day workshops is gone. You could enroll in a class for emotional intelligence for 2 days and spend 2 full days and come back with a lot of ideas. It's not going to work, because this is about habits. This is not about knowledge. Leadership is about habits. Habits takes time. Daniel Goleman, who is a living legend of emotional intelligence, actually said that when we do our education, early education in college, schools and universities, we are using our left brain because everything is logical. You could learn it very fast. When it comes to leadership in the mature brain, it's not your left brain which digests. It's about habits. It's about your emotions. It's the right brain. Right brain takes time. So look at your lifestyle, look at your profession, and incorporate these learnings into your daily lifestyle. Don't waste your time going to 5-day workshops. In some cases you have to. But generally speaking, develop a lifestyle where every day you are spending 1 hour, half an hour, sometime. Now, there is no shortage of information. Information is available everywhere. Even as a trainer, if I conduct a training, you could find that stuff somewhere on the Google if you spend some time. So it's not about the knowledge transfer anymore. It's about how to really execute it. Execution is a big challenge. We are all intelligent enough, smart enough to understand this, but most of us struggle in execution. How to do that? So when it comes to the jobs, please alert me when my time is running out. How much more? 5 minutes? 5 minutes. When it comes to the jobs, business people or businesses are smart. They have to be smart in order to be successful. Unfortunately, they are ahead of the educational system. Now, educational system, I think there is no debate, is lagging behind. Is becoming very fast obsolete. My big question is that why in today's time a student have to spend 4 to 5 years in a college to get a degree? Why? And why they have to really spend their life 24/7 in the college and school? Now, the same contents, any smart student could run less than a year. Why are they wasting 3 years, 4 years over there? That is how, but education system is not changing. It's not going to change. Businesses are smarter, right? Businesses need to run their business. They need talented people. They don't need degrees and certifications. They need talented people.